Hey, Jed.
What's up, fellas?
Oh, and here, oh shit. iPhone Andy entered the waiting room.
Oh, no. You did text a link.
But then I also said I'm sending the email as well. Because I have an iPad, or I have a Mac, so I get my messages on my
I waited.
Yeah. Hey Andy, is there something wrong with your computer? Oh, hold on.
Oh, it's mute iPhone Andy. It's a new character.
Now I gotta ask him to unmute, but I don't know if he geez.
Oh.
So he just scrambled and grabbed any link he could immediately.
Well, this one's wrong. This one won't let me link up here. That's what. See,
all right, but I've got two other guys on that would probably say that as an
computer savvy. You know,
there's a new link. There's a new link.
I know, but the new link didn't provide a link. So could I get the new link? Could I get the new link a second time and no salt on those fries?
Should I forward you the new link that I got me here?
Wait,
yeah, that might work.
All right, Andy, I'll resend it. But
all right, no. It's just I ordered it without pickles, and it's got pickles on it.
I'm looking right at the receipt. It doesn't say no pickles.
See, here's the fucking cocksucker. I don't know my.
That bright light doing any good or no? Is that better like this or like this?
Like that.
This?
Hey Andy, resend.
Yes.
Okay, just now you did. All right.
Fucking dollar store.
Nice.
What? Oh,
Perfect.
nice.
Not only that, it's also a motion light.
Oh, so is it gonna if you get so stoned that you go catatonic, it'll go out?
Like if Jenny works graveyard and I was supposed to like move the stuff from the to the washer to the dryer and I forgot, fell asleep, like I'll have this on, so whenever she comes home, the dogs jump up to go greet her, and then the light pops on, and then I wake up and I run and switch the stuff into the dryer. And
so are we talking Family Dollar, Dollar General, 99 cents? Dollar General.
Removable magnetic base.
That's nice. Yeah, the light I've got so many different lights, and they're all from B&H Photo and Video in New York. I mean, they're all like YouTuber influencer kind of lights. And here's the one that I love the most. $2 at the Family Dollar. So it's a ring light that you can buy at the impulse aisle leaving the store.
This has definitely a ring pattern.
Yeah. Oh, and it's got the IR sensor in the center there. So yeah, that's great.
It's fascinating stuff, guys.
Well, we're waiting.
I was giving Andy time to work his link out. Sorry,
Well,
I was vamping.
it doesn't work.
Oh, Jesus.
See, it's giving me this meeting in progress.
Yeah. Are you perhaps already logged into another meeting from the original link?
Well, if I am, I'm leaving.
Oh,
Leaving that
Perhaps
shit.
on a phone?
No, I'm on there.
that wouldn't matter because it's a separate account. Well, maybe. Yeah, get rid of the phone, Andy, and get to the.
All right, but the link it does the same thing where I'm not getting a link to pop.
You
on.
have to hang up the phone first.
Okay. All right. Bye.
It'd been great if you just said you got to get rid of the phone, and then he just throws it out the window.
Yeah.
No, you got to leave the.
I am glad that you texted and said that Brett was in, because I opened up the new email and then promptly clicked the link again in the old email and was sitting there waiting, going, nope, still the same thing. And then when you said that he was in, I was like, I must have done something wrong. And then I went and clicked, and I was like, yep, I sure did. I opened the new email and then clicked the link in the old email. So,
well, I was scrambling to get a bunch of reference photos from the photos you sent me, Chad, for discussion later. I wanted to have some actual other photos that were more than just real life. And so we could really dig into the grossness. And so that when I saw it was time, I clicked the here's Andy. I just clicked the start meeting, and it was the start of meeting fresh and not the scheduled one. So that's what happened originally. All right, so 4:16, we're all in.
Nice.
Unmute, start video. All right.
Perfect.
There we go.
Yeah.
Right on
Lovely.
time. Right on time.
Yeah.
Hi, Andy.
Slid right in under the wire. Yeah. Well, when I put-
You'll pass, Spicoli. You're gonna fail me, Mr. Hank?
Isn't this our time, then? Yeah, technical problems, and I'm glad. Anyway, we're all here and safe. That's the main thing.
That's right.
And
Nice. Hi, fellas.
Thank
Welcome
the
to
Lord.
Issues with Andy, everybody. Episode 206.
206.
Oh my
whatever
God.
happened to the 200?
You got it.
200 disappeared.
It's
I
waiting.
saw it in my email.
It's in the on
Oh
deck.
yeah, that's
circle.
right. That's right. There is a 200.
Patreon exclusive coming soon.
Somebody accidentally sent it to me. I don't know what to do with it. I think that might have been what happened.
I think I'm supposed to do something.
I took an accidental underdose at both hippie concerts.
Oh, that's right.
I mean,
You
I
went to-
tried to trip a little harder, but it just didn't. I didn't have enough mushrooms. But it was still fun. It didn't.
Yeah.
It didn't diminish the thing.
You saw Twiddle and you saw Humphreys McGee.
Yeah, Twiddle on a Wednesday, and a couple days later, Humphreys, which Humphreys is a bigger kind of a rowdier crowd. It's
Uh-huh.
more of is it kind of Rage Against the Machine a bit?
I
What?
wouldn't go that. I don't know. I mean, it's heavier than most jam bands.
Yeah,
they
they're
got a
little
bottom
heavier.
end.
Heavier meaning like power chords and a mosh pit.
There was a little bit of
There's
a
some
little
jamming, dude. They go
Yeah.
pretty hard.
uh-huh. Yeah, Metalhead wouldn't have walked out of the concert.
Twiddle's more of a, it's a good time and
Like the hippies doing those circle spin dance
yeah.
things.
Beach
That's all,
balls in
everybody's
the air.
happy. It's got like a reggae thing, it's great, but
Yeah.
it's a little heavy.
At Humphreys, I was like, if I'm not like a drug fiend or whatever, I'm like a drug
What?
connoisseur.
Right.
Like, I'm more,
Yeah.
But that one I was like, oh, I could use, I was thinking of things, at Twiddle, I was happy with a few mushrooms and weed, but at Humphreys, I was like, oh, so Molly would really hit the spot right here.
Yep.
Definitely.
I haven't been to a concert in like anything like, well, I don't think I've ever been to anything like that, but like festivals and stuff like that. Are drugs still available walking around if you're not a chick with wearing a bikini top?
Well, yes, but any of us asked would definitely think we were a cop.
Oh, all right.
Andy's walking around by himself asking kids for drugs. It's probably going to get beaten up as a narc.
No, I just knew I needed it. I was at Humphreys for sure,
Yeah, no, I'm just saying
Like,
they might not believe your intention.
I was showing I was more Twiddle than Humphreys with my starting to, how you do mushrooms or and then you start getting them deep yawns.
Uh-huh.
Doesn't mean you're necessarily tired. You just got to kind of.
I think that's a side effect.
Mushrooms.
That and
Yeah.
nausea.
Yeah.
It is for me. So, Andy, do you buy merch when you go to the
I
concert?
did it Humphreys. This is an Humphreys.
Nice. Look
I
at
Oh, there
did.
you go.
I got some Twiddle stuff, but I didn't. There was. I was going to buy one or the other, and I passed on Twiddle. Yeah, because it was not. I need a zip up. I like
Yeah.
this particular placement in my clothing lineup. I need a zip up hoodie, and
It's more versatile because if you get a little hot, which men of our age, you can start to run a little hot.
Yeah.
You can
Hot
zip
flash.
it down.
yeah.
Air it
Well,
out a little.
what are they
Twiddle seems
asking?
Like Twiddle
Go ahead.
seems like they might sell like a one rope sandal that somebody lost or something.
They
Need a sandal, grab a sandal, have a
Yeah.
sandal, leave a sandal.
Yeah.
So Andy, I'm doing merch for Stanhope in Canada right now. I'm doing purchases and stuff. What did you pay for that, if you don't mind me asking?
This was 65, and then
Yeah, I was gonna
I
say
threw
over
on a
50 for
sticker to
sure.
make it an even 70.
Nice.
Yeah, there's no deals at Humphrey. You
No.
know, I mean, there might be a Humphreys on the side or whatever. I can't speak to that, but you know,
Well,
they
not if you look like
sell
a
sell
cop.
high quality, high end items. You know,
Yeah.
they have like a post. They put out a really cool poster, and I assume they maybe do it for every show or whatever. But
Mhm.
this was specifically for a Eugene show, and that was like, you know, I would if I don't have what you'd call wall space that I could put something of my own up without going through committee, through some
Wait, what
bullshit.
about your
your foot
recording
down.
place out on the
I got that.
patio?
I mean, I got a couple of things I rotate down there, but I can't introduce a new big wall spaced, event thing. But if if I were featured on Dateline next week, I would have wall space. Whatever. No, I'm not thinking now. I just watched that. I've been watching Dateline, so it popped in my head. I'm not dropping
Easy.
clues.
We don't want this.
Hey, how about
episode
that
to be used in
Murdoch guy,
court.
huh? I finally caught up on what he did. That murderer.
Murdoch.
Murdoch,
Alex
yeah.
Murdoch, yeah. He's what a
And
fucking
did
crazy.
not think it through.
Yeah, that's the one I said to watch on HBO a while back. If you haven't watched that one,
Yeah.
that was before all of the stuff that kind of led up to the
Uh-huh.
involved since.
I don't know anything. I'm just waiting for you guys to tell me about it because I
Seemed
trust
like
you guys.
it just seemed like that, it's like, I don't know, everybody Monday morning quarterbacks those things or whatever, but it's like, really, that's you got napping's never a good alibi.
Right.
I didn't hear any shots. I was in the house sleeping when all that shit went down. Okay, yeah, it's fucking a flawed piece of shit alibi. But it's fun because it's a rich dude and he's
He's a lawyer, right?
Yeah, he was.
Was he a criminal defense lawyer?
No, he was like a injury.
It was like a Reeve.
Injury
Right.
lawyer.
Oh, like the guys with the billboards. Call us. We'll fight for you.
Yeah, and he worked at this big giant firm, and he's like fourth generation lawyer. His father, grandfather, and great grandfather had all been the solicitor in the county,
Like a disease in that
the
family.
DA. So he had like an enormous amount of power and pull, and it was quite a ride for him over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
He defrauded hundreds of people out of millions and millions of dollars, and then when that started to come apart at the same time, his son got really drunk and crashed a boat and killed a girl, and he was trying to cover that up, and it all started to come apart. And then he killed his
I wonder if that didn't happen, I wonder if he still would be going, ripping people
without
off
a doubt. The one reporter, this girl named Mandy Matney, who does the Murdoch Murders podcast, is the one who started to figure it all out, because she started contacting some of these people that he had represented, and started finding out that he was defrauding them. There was something there. The more she dug, the bigger it got. And then the boat case started happening.
Yeah.
It got even more fucked up.
Yeah, that got everything a little too close.
Mm-hmm.
So fucking rowdy kid, man. Ruined it for the old man.
People off enough at them to go against him, whereas nobody was, willing to go against him before that.
Yeah.
Because they were trying to be like, say you were driving the boat, and those kids were like, fuck you. I'm not saying I was driving the boat.
Right.
It is weird how they've got to get like a tipping point. Like everyone's like, I don't want to get involved. No, keep me out of it. And then there's that tipping point to where then everyone comes forward and just lunges in, and self-preservation as well. But his whole in the aftermath of the murder scene, he's out there going, oh, I'll bet it was somebody from that boat incident. He's like he's already figured, he's just got there. Salting the mind
he
already.
Be in shock. He's just got done fake weeping or whatever, and then he's already got a pretty clear, bunch of suspects to see. It's probably, Oh yeah, somebody tried to murder me. I bet I know who it is.
Yeah. And he got caught because he got caught like Dalia. Like that moment when Dalia is on video when they tell him that Snapchat videos can be saved. And he was like, what?
Oh, what?
You just see
The what
it.
now?
Yeah. And
yeah.
When Murdoch found out that his son had done a Snapchat right before this all happened, that's how he got caught, because he's on the.
That's what it was. Okay, yeah, the little video of the dog with the.
Yeah, you can hear him in the background, and he said he was already gone by then. He'd already left and went to his mom's house. So
He was,
it's like, oh fuck, he probably would have gotten away with it. That hadn't happened. That's what fucking caught him. It's a pretty wild
That
story.
2-gun strategy is pretty good. I gotta admit.
Yeah.
He should have had a third one that he fired from up on top of the barn.
Right? Where did this third bullet come from?
Yeah.
What the fuck? It was like
plant
a game.
one. Yeah, put one in the door, and then and then the rest in whatever, and then say that you tried coming running out of the house. He just was in it's like, fuck, man. He had it sort of planned. I mean, he must have planned it right. Didn't he plan it at least an hour or two ahead of time?
Yeah,
that's it.
But I don't know. I mean, it's like every fucking fumble you could make. It's like it's like
there's still so much more to it, because he stole millions and millions of dollars from all these clients, and nobody still knows where it is. He claims he spent it all on drugs, and he's got a $60,000 a day opiate habit or something like that, which is insanity, because nobody really recognized that. I think it'd be impossible not to show symptoms.
That's some pretty designer fucking downers, man. Like, how many opioids can you take in a day and still be upright? I'd say that, like,
yeah, he said they gave
pills should knock almost anybody on their ass for a day.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed to me when it was all happening that they came up with this drug dealer excuse, and he's a drug addict excuse, as like, he's got a disease. That's the problem. That's why he had to steal this money. He's got a disease. And it's like, I never bought it from the start. He doesn't, you can't spend that much money on OxyContin. And
even if you can, that's not a fucking defense.
Well, of course it isn't.
For murder.
But it's what I'm saying is, what other people are saying is, where's the fucking money?
Yeah.
Because it's never turned up. It's still somewhere.
Buster.
Wonder how, I mean,
surviving ginger.
Attorneys are always fucking, you talk to them, you make a phone call, and you find out it's billable. Everything's billable. I wonder how much of that is just goes on all the time. My life has not had to revolve around attorneys, thank God. But it seems pretty easy for them to be able to be dishonest about that.
Yeah, well, what this guy was doing, Chaille, was he was setting up his own fake shell company that even had the name that was very similar to whatever the company was that would handle the cash settlements. And he was like, it'll go right into this account, and then you'll be able to access this account, and you'll get your money and everything will be kosher. And then, of course, they could never access their money because it wasn't a real company. It was all going to him, and he had another banker that was in on it with him. And so, he wasn't even just overbilling these people or anything like that. He was
absolute fraud,
stealing their settlements. And the reason he got caught doing it is because the housemaid, who was also their nanny for 40 years or whatever it was, 30 years, she died before the boat crash. She fell down the steps at one of their houses, and they said the dogs must have tripped her, and she fell down the steps and she hit her head. And so then so listen to this. So then this Murdoch guy says to this woman's family, and they are like, poor, low country South Carolina people.
Yeah.
He's like, look, I'm going to do you guys. I feel terrible about this that's happened to your poor mother, and I'm going to take care of you guys. What I'm going to do plead guilty to a civil suit. You can sue me, and I will bear the responsibility in the suit, and then the insurance company will pay you out.
That's fraud too.
I'm going to get you $750,000. And they're like, okay. And then he did all of that, but then he never gave them their $750,000. And that's what this reporter, Mandy Matney, found out. And she started to unravel this thing.
Wow.
And then it turned out that not only did he not give them the $750,000, it wasn't for $750,000, it was for $3.5 million. So he pocketed all of it, and he would do that same exact thing to everybody. And the guy's a fucking maniac.
Yeah, so. Sounds like he sounds like a presidential. Like if he hadn't murdered the family members, he might be.
Well, we've got a long time until the race actually heats up. So
maybe,
could be out on appeal.
When Trump gets back in there, maybe he'll pardon him.
Yeah. For all that
guy.
slick
He's a good
dealing,
guy.
Though, for all that slick dealing.
Say it was good while it lasted.
Yeah. He seemed like, just the way that the murder scene at the kennel went down, he seemed to be out of his best. It wasn't his best work. It just seemed like,
3 months after the murder, he staged a shooting of himself where supposedly he was going to kill himself, but he wanted to make it look like a murder so that the surviving ginger, as you said, Buster, was going to get a $10 million life insurance payout. But then the guy who was supposed to shoot him didn't want to shoot him. And then he tried to shoot himself, but he only really kind of grazed his head barely. And then he called in and reported that he was changing a tire and some maniac pulled up and took a shot at him. And then that story all fell apart. Like everything this guy tried.
This is like Tanya Harding now. Tanya Harding was getting, receiving all these death threats and shit. It's like, man, everybody's fucking mad at that bitch. Same way, this guy say, hey, you don't just, oh, there's that fucking snobby ginger on the side of the road. Let's take a shot at him.
So they might not even have known it was him. They just thought he was a snobby ginger.
Right. Yeah. The probability of his bullshit is just like, it's just not very good,
So that money is somewhere,
dude. Yeah, and the surviving ginger Buster is a person of interest in the death of this other kid, this gay sweetheart gay kid who died under suspicious circumstances years before. They said he was at first. They said it was a hit and run. He was walking along the road and somebody hit him and just left him there. But then, when they looked at it a little closer, they realized that he wasn't hit by a car. He was like beaten to death. And the rumor is allegedly that Buster is gay and repressed, and him and some of his buddies took it out on this kid. And that had been a rumor for a long time before any of this other stuff happened.
I could tell Buster. I didn't even know any of this, and now I see why Chad, or was it Chad that recommended that a while back? Is why you got to do a deep dive. Because on what I saw, I guess I saw the Dateline, and it was kind of if you haven't seen all that other stuff, it gave you the basics of it and stuff. Now I got to go do a deep dive on this stuff. Yeah. But when I saw Buster, and maybe I have a solid gaydar or whatever, I saw him sitting there in the stand for like 8 seconds, and I saw him. That's a repressed homosexual. So I believe that. What a bunch of fucking cunts. The whole lot of them, and they must have murdered. I mean, come on, nobody falls down the stairs just right and dies unless there's ice involved.
Well, this
fucking dogs.
Yeah, well, this is it. Like not only did Mandy Matney discover that the fraud that resulted from the housekeeper dying, but now there's speculation that she didn't trip and fall down the steps.
No way.
That he fucking pushed her down the steps to kill her, to do this fucking
to set the whole thing in motion.
Whole thing up. It wasn't like he figured out a way to, you know, make lemonade out of some fucking lemons. He, you know, he planted the lemon tree, like this fucking guy.
Yeah, and then I mean, kind of the motive, or you know, what they figure why he, if he in fact murdered those two people, which he's convicted of murdering now, he did it.
Isn't that his wife and his son?
His wife and his non-repressed gay favorite son.
The son, the son that was driving the boat
that killed
drew all the attention onto the family that really started.
Well, I mean, you blame him for killing that one, that little fucker.
He put that whole thing in motion, those murders, just as a distraction or to paint him in a sympathetic. It's like, holy shit, you know.
Yeah, pretty drastic.
Because
he committed, on Chaille, he was the law firm found out what he was doing, and the president of the law firm confronted him on a Friday and said, we think that like this one case, like there's, you know, $800,000 missing, and you have to, you know, we think you took it. Where is it? And then he was like, well, I don't know what you're talking about. And then all of a sudden he gets a phone call or something, and she's like, all right, well, you know, by Monday you need to have an answer for this. You know, we need to. And then that was the weekend that that the wife and the son were murdered.
Yeah.
All of a sudden that didn't have to happen anymore because he had bigger things going on.
It sounds like William H. Macy in Fargo when he's trying to get the VIN numbers, and he's like scribbling them out. It's like, no, I sent them over.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'll just fax them right over to you then.
Okay, then we'll get those numbers. We'll get those back. Saying no, we need this.
I'm saying, Mr. Lundegaard, if you don't get the numbers, I can't.
He was on. William H. Macy was on. I think it was Kansas City radio, and me and Doug were on there. Me and Doug were in the studio, and William H. Macy called in, and nice. I forget that guy's name, but he goes to William H. Macy. He goes, I'm sitting here with Doug Stanhope and Andy Andrist, and he goes, okay, yeah. Yeah, he acknowledged me sort of in the most dismissive Midwestern way.
Well, I mean, he didn't slight you in any way.
No. He was, I forget what he was promoting, and he answered my question. I had a question for him about it.
I mean, it's not like that. What's his name? Who confronted you at the at the buffet line?
Right. Yeah, Gary. Yeah,
Gary Busey.
And you know, I didn't realize that Gary just, you know, I should have reached out and tried to help him. It's like, dude, you're trying to control everything and you're letting everything spin out of control. You know, you're trying to stop me from joining this line behind you is affecting your, you know, whatever was going on before that. You know, I wasn't that wise at the time, but I could have stopped Gary from potentially being the kind of adult that
would have beat the fuck out of you, dude. If you
without a doubt, he would have killed you.
He would have chewed your nose right off your face.
Oh yeah, like what was that Lethal Weapon movie where he's beating the shit out of Mel Gibson in the front yard? That would have been me. And fucking Bob Evans. You know, now I realize how embarrassing. Like, man, Bob Evans is fucking weirdly cool, man.
Oh my God!
I don't want Gary Busey beating me up in front of Robert Evans.
I just saw the end of Drop Zone with Wesley Snipes and Gary Busey last night, and it was prime Gary Busey in his fucking crazy, like, we got a plan. This is we're gonna break into the DEA. It was so great. 1994, I think it was, or it might have been 84. But man, classic Busey.
He was like I mean, he wasn't like the leading man a whole bunch, but if you need a fucking weird villain,
oh yeah,
shit, he could have. I mean, if he hadn't got brain damage,
he was like a henchman of a villain.
One of the best weirdo character. I mean, you know, he like Nicolas Cage has range that he can be a leading man. I don't know how to explain it.
Well, no, Gary Busey was the lead in the Buddy Holly story.
Yeah, that's incredible in that.
Yeah. So he's able to. I mean, he had to get to a certain point in his career where like, there's not going to be a love scene with Gary Busey.
No, he's all teeth.
Yeah. There's a lot going on there.
Too toothy.
Could you imagine what there would have been like a pissed off actresses? It's like, I do not want to do this scene with Gary. I think there's something going on.
My agent says I'm going to pass on this.
Yeah. How many movies didn't get made?
I think he's up there in years, right? Like, how old is?
Oh
Gary?
yeah.
And like his latest incident, it could be age related. I don't know what it sounds like. He got frustrated at some sort of a Comic-Con event and went and jerked off on a bench, and for maybe it was that.
Oh yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, that's what I think. He's had brain.
His eyes are not at the same level. On his
he had that accident, man. That almost killed him.
He had brain damage.
Probably.
That's more the Gary I saw at that buffet line.
If that guy tells you to go to the back of the line, you go to the back of the line. You don't try to explain to him how.
Right, I know. I was just
sending.
While I was walking, I was trying to, I was pleading a case, but I didn't stand my ground and say, "Look, mister, you're going to hear me out." I was like, "All right, man, all right." He was talking to the back of my head, but the thing is, you can tell a fucking person who's, been in that, like you can tell he's stalked another human being before, not just in a movie. He may do it just for practice.
You have something in common if you think about it, Andy. I mean, look at him here.
Yeah, he's nature jacking.
Yeah,
you see the cement there.
That's not hot.
But he's on a bench in the grass.
Oh, but that's like
he's taking it to. He's urban nature jacking.
That is like
parkour.
That's basically, but he's not living out there, so that's probably inappropriate. If you're living out there, you can go, well, hey man.
Wait, you just said you think it's probably inappropriate that he was jacking off out in the open?
Yeah, I can't think of anything he'd have.
You use the word probably.
This guy this guy menaced me. I got this Stockholm syndrome. I'm still protecting Gary all these years after he menaced me. But I would say there's almost a 97% chance that what he's doing there is for no good reason.
I agree with that. Here he is in court defending that.
It seems like you would, like, he's using the same energy you would yell at kids to get off your yard and jack it off. So it's like, what is that, Gary?
What defense did he use? I'm curious.
I don't know how that's.
He didn't use defense. He used the bench.
I was very angry. Yeah. I needed to be not angry, Your Honor. It's the only thing that works.
That's what I think he might be able to use. Like, he might just be like, all right, I'm a weird motherfucker. Defense. That scared me. Look at you. That's not even an acting role either. That's probably just.
No, that's at like a Comic-Con.
He probably came up with something like, Your Honor, do you want me to be Gary Busey or Gary Busey? I was just fixing my mind, Your Honor.
I would like to see him in. Well, I know it's too soon to remake the massive.
Those Busey-isms, Erickson.
Gary Busey,
like one of those.
How about Gary Busey hooking up with a drug cartel guy playing Gary Busey in a movie, and they eat acid? That would be something. Because Gary, I think you could do like the what was that, a Windy City Heat thing where you could just tell Gary you're filming a movie and he'd be fucking, he wouldn't question it.
Right on.
So this is where I didn't know about this. To put it all in context, the park bench incident happened after he was, because I saw the headlines, I thought he was charged with some kind of a sexual crime. He was charged with multiple sexual offenses in connection with an incident that happened at the convention Monster Mania, which was a 3-day event where it was 2 counts of 4th-degree criminal sexual contact. Okay, so he's touching, inappropriate touching. After that
He's
is
a
when
monster.
monster. After that is when he was caught, on camera at the park bench.
He was
He
just
couldn't
cashing
stay
in
out
that
of trouble.
bank material.
Yeah.
So, I mean, no lawyer's going to give him that much credit for it, but they would probably say, well, it's probably better for us that you went outside and just jerked off instead of groping more people. I mean, that's like, it's just trying to find anything to hold on to as a positive there.
Yeah.
But people did pay to go to a monster thing, and that's a form of being a monster.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
They advertised Monster Mania. And you got
Caveat emptor, Your Honor. Caveat emptor. That's all.
So that thing's probably not, it's going to be a while before that ever sees court, or he's going to have to write some, there's, I would like to see a documentary on the whole fucking incident. Gary getting ready to go to the event, getting ready for Gary, and everything that ensued up until that bench. You could start off with him on the bench and go like they do, like, I bet you're wondering how I got here.
The record scratch, yeah.
I love this picture of him.
That's me.
Here he is at the event, dressed for success, right?
Jesus.
I mean, have you guys ever been to one of these things where they have like people from like slasher movies sitting at tables and stuff like that?
I haven't, but now I want to go to one.
It's a little, it's when you go by at a farmer's market and you're not going to buy anything, and those sad people are sitting there with wares. Just imagine that with people that have a little bit of success or taste of success, but they have nothing to sell except a picture with them. So there's not even like, you can't go, well, I'm lactose intolerant, I can't drink goat's milk, and you can move on. They're just sitting there waiting.
I saw that with Pete Rose once in Las Vegas. They had him like inside a vault, like people were gonna mob him, like he was all inside the stuff, and then there was like no line to see Pete Rose. He was just,
isn't it? Yeah, it's just like in a mall. Yeah, like the Pete Rose shop, and he had, and he has baseball infamy, but Gary Busey, there'd be a wide range of people who enjoyed his Buddy Holly, and then
all the
other shit.
There are no shortage of vinyl tables and someone sitting behind them from all walks of life. Gary Busey is a good get. That would be a good one. And you'd have to pay. I'm curious how much that would be, but you could pay upwards, $10, $15, $20 for the kid who was in Christmas Story that stuck his tongue to the fucking pole.
But it's almost like the modern day circus freak, because 90% of those people aren't paying a thing. They're just walking by going, "Oh, look at it."
Look
what
or
Gary
clicking behind like
look
at this asshole behind me. Get that fucking, it's Gary Busey. But how great would it be to have like just the whole, all of it, the dialogue between takes, it had to have some progression where he started getting, I guess he's a drinker. I don't know.
He had a near fatal overdose back in the 80s. He had the cocaine overdose, and he had the motorcycle accident.
Right.
And I think that was the 80s or 90s. I mean, and then just probably just years of abuse as well.
Seemed like him and Steven Adler should have taken a road trip together, like Thelma and Louise.
A buddy pick.
Yeah, after their celebrity rehab. I mean, those two guys could have had, they definitely could have had a spin-out show.
Spin-off?
Spin-off.
No, spin-out sounds good.
Spin-out was good.
They could just
it
call
may
it
not have been on
spin-out.
purpose, but it was perfect.
Yeah, that's the title. We got it. Spin-out. Spin-out with Gary and Steve.
You could not have tinfoil anywhere near Adler. He'd end up with it. He's like a rat. He'd have a little bit of fucking tinfoil to smoke shit off of. He's the only guy kicked out of Guns N' Roses, right?
I think everyone else quit.
sense, right? And back in the day, that was his claim to fame. And then that's what he said was his claim to fame. It was smoking all that fucking shit. Wasn't he always smoking crack?
Yeah, it's a crackhead.
I mean, they were pretty notorious for, indulging in just about everything. But I mean, yeah, he's. I mean, you see him. He can't. I mean, he was always saying how they just won't let me be back in the band. It's like, man, to play at that level, are you fucking serious?
And you could tell, yeah, he was like, he was all shaky,
Taylor Hawkins, before he died, those shows were over 2.5 hours long. That he was drumming at, and he was like 54, I think, or something. He's in the early 50s. I mean, just to perform at that level for that amount of time, I can't imagine anyone being that fucked up or having some kind of a disability to be able to, play like that. And Guns N' Roses, it might be 2.5 hours late that they even started back then. They weren't just sitting around waiting.
Do you count the Def Leppard guy as I don't think the Def Leppard guy would be counted as disabled because he made a drum kit that he can play.
He's differently abled.
Whereas Steven Adler
definitely disabled, Andy.
Yeah. Like Adler couldn't.
He's missing an arm.
Yeah. Well, he was disabled off the kit, but on the kit he was alter abled. Whatever.
Should have
But Adler couldn't hold on to anything unless it had aluminum foil and crack in it.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Oh. Wow, that's what Ggreg wore to the meet and greet too.
Yeah.
But it's I mean, if what the pictures tell that story, he was there doing a meet and greet and then got, I think, frustrated, went and jerked off. But maybe it was joyous. So it didn't look celebratory, did it? It looked more like
it's a pretty far away picture. You can't see it.
He looks contemplative, if anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, right there, it looks like he's thinking he might get away with it.
Give it a tug or two,
like Buddy it's Holly. His duty, like he had to do it to me.
Like yeah, he's doing timeout.
Yeah,
he looks more like
it was the day after he was charged in Monster Mania that he did this.
I'll show him.
Yeah. Oh, you want sexual assault?
I guess I guess it's cool that he didn't have the tank top on there. I mean, I don't think it makes much difference for the photo, but yeah, that just yeah, I would like to know. I'm going to do a deep dive on that. Why doesn't Dateline do a Celebrity Tuesday or whatever? I would, I mean, I don't want to say that Gary's jerking off should bump some murderer or anything.
Maybe this was one of those things of like, get out in front of it. Like if he's going to plead that somehow his brain injuries made him touch someone inappropriately standing in line, the next day goes, I got this. And he goes out to a park bench where out in the middle of nowhere for no other reason. Well, he's doing it because he's nutso. He's crazy. He's got something a screw loose. This might be his way of getting out in front of it.
And so does the photographer of celebrities masturbating in parks. That should be there,
a coffee table book.
Yeah. Like, what are you going around taking that paparazzi picture for?
Well, this is probably
here's a Tony Danza.
Yeah, there's probably a lot of dough involved in this one.
Yeah.
Add that to the fucking list of things I want that I never knew I wanted before.
This pic might not even be a paparazzi. It might be somebody just going, hey man, I think that old guy's jacking off over there. I'm gonna snap a picture on my phone, and then later they zoom in and they're like, holy fuck, look at his eyes aren't level. Hey, holy shit!
Didn't you pay $50 to get an autograph from that guy yesterday?
Is that Buddy Holly?
I'll go you one better, Erickson. I think this is a stage photographer. I think they probably got the photographer to do this because there's only one angle from all the pictures I've seen on the Daily Mail. There's only one angle. There's not like three photographers that are about. There's just one.
So maybe this is his like a Saul Goodman-esque lawyer.
Absolutely.
Going, we need to get some get in front of this thing by putting out
Ray Donovan.
Yeah, Gary. This may sound crazy, and he's like, nothing sounds crazy to
Hear
me.
me out, Gary.
I'll tell you when it's too crazy. I'm in. I'll do it.
God,
I wish I had some Hollywood money. Could get Gary Busey, Randy Quaid, and I don't know who else, but that'd be two of my expendables. The new, or I mean, the more fucking brain damaged expendables.
So what would you do with them? You'd get them to do what? Have dinner?
You don't need to. You just put a camera on those two.
Oh, a reality show.
But yeah, those two are. I don't know what I don't know that Gary Busey is even political. That's how fucking batshit crazy he is. I don't think he gets involved. You know, I can't imagine him being anything other than just fucking.
I wouldn't even want to ask him a political question.
If he was mega, you'd know it, and if he was, you know, if he was a lefty, you'd know it. He's just fucking good old fashioned batshit crazy, and the head wound didn't do him any favors. But I'll bet he'd still be a fucking weird motherfucker without the head wound.
Uh-oh.
He definitely doesn't understand.
Hold on.
Oh no.
Just give me a second here.
He had it. I don't wonder what happened to his
Boom.
kid. Oh, he's a
perfect.
What is Billy Jack?
Oh yeah, that's right. He was in yeah, of course that could, you know, he was on the show. So
that's right.
He was on Celebrity Apprentice.
So maybe he thought he was going to go on the show again.
Probably appreciates it, you know. I mean, they're mutual weird, you know, but I don't think he probably looked at him any, you know, differently than just a fucking game show.
In that picture, they honestly look like they could be brothers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like one guy just took a little bit of a different path, and you know, started smoking weed.
Boy, I bet they, you know.
What's the Bill Clinton's brother's name?
Roger. Billy Carter.
Well, Billy Carter. Hey, is Jimmy still hanging on? I haven't heard he died, right?
I think he is.
I think he's still alive, man. Wow. Good for Jimmy.
Or as Andy puts it, what's Billy Carter's brother's name?
Jimmy's probably built a hospice home while waiting to die.
He built his own.
He banged out one more custom home for the hospice program. Yeah, so
he's 98. He's still alive.
Some people bounce out of it, but I doubt he, you know, at that age. That's when I would be like, you know, fucking, you know, heavy LSD every day or whatever, you know.
Whatever you got.
Yeah, tranquilizers or whatever. Carter's probably just like, you know, save those for the needy.
Someone else is in more need than myself.
I'll just have it like a straw. I'll tape a straw. Just fucking don't give me any goddamn, you know, hospice shouldn't give you any lectures. It should just like, you know, lay out rails and
what do you want? Yeah.
That's Andy's version of a port when he's in hospice.
I got two right here. No waiting.
Taped in his nose.
Just super glue it. You could just put a straw in there and super glue it so you don't have any gaps, because at that point it doesn't matter. Just be a fucking go out with it, you know, as a gacking machine.
Yeah. One of those computer air cleaner things, just have a long metal straw super glued in your nose. And one of those air duster things and just fucking blast fucking.
And then right after you would look like Gary Busey. You're fucking one.
Oh my God.
What? That's a fantastic idea. I like that idea already.
I'll go.
That explains what he just did.
I
would hospice for Gary Busey. That'd be crazy, huh? I can putting Gary Busey down. So I wonder what's up. I mean, we all hope for the best for Gary and hope he gets the help he needs. But I wonder what's going on with his charges and shit. See, I mean, that's the kind of thing you just want to take care of. And you don't want to go to court on because there's really not a good explanation. Yeah, you just want to go, sugar diabetic or whatever, put you out there. You don't want to go get on the stand.
No.
And that was Murtaugh's trouble too, huh? Boy, he sucked on the stand. Why do people if you murdered people, you should never get on the stand.
Isn't it like just known that you shouldn't go on the stand if you're a defendant?
Yes, but also a guy like that has been lying his whole life.
Yeah, smarter than the judge.
Getting away with it, so he thinks this is it. I can just get up there, I'll explain it all, and I'll charm him, and that'll be it. Nope.
Sorry, Buster. Now Buster's like he's a lucky kid. I mean, I'm not lucky his brother and mother got murdered, but under the circumstances, his dad's going to go down. Actually, he's not that lucky because I don't think they're going to have a lot of money for Buster's college. I think Buster may he may be
that money's not put away where Buster knows where it is.
Yeah, Buster held on to the crypto a little too long.
Buster's the only one that knows where all that money is. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Every time you say Buster, I think of Arrested Development.
Blue. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh shit. So hey, here's something that's happening. Check this out, huh?
Mothership.
There it is.
Look at that.
Goddamn, how do we get one of them hats?
Pretty badass, right?
Go to Austin, Texas. It won't give you a hat unless you run your face through the face recognition machine.
Right. You gotta get scanned. We gotta get your info. We gotta get a retinal scan.
And then those become
all over the goddamn internet. I'm a fucking international podcast fucking star.
Yeah. Play some fucking put some clout down, Chad. We'll show up with laminate.
Well, I'm just saying, my face is all over. It's not like you need my retina scan.
So they're doing like shows there now. They're doing like soft opening. It's not open.
It was supposed.
It's open.
It's open. It was originally it was going to be April 1st, and then they got all the tables and chairs in there, and Joe looked at that and said, "Let's fucking open this thing."
Huh. Nice.
And Mitchell was like, "Don't we need some liquor?"
On Saturday, he said that for a Tuesday opening.
Yeah, let's open on Tuesday. So it was wild. It was like, it's been 2 years with nothing really happening, and then all of a sudden 2 weeks of everything happening all at once.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been a fucking ride, man. It was a great first night. The lineup was Tim Dillon. Oh my God, is that guy fucking funny?
Yeah, he's
great. Roseanne lives in Austin now, so she was there, and Ron White, always good. It was fun. So
I've never seen Tim Dillon's comedy.
He's a force.
Mm-hmm.
He visited here at the Funhouse, did a podcast with Doug, and then shit his pants and left in the morning before we even got up.
Yeah, I know that visit wasn't really it didn't really come off, but he is fantastic. It
sounds like a bonding experience to me.
That's marking your territory is all that is.
You marked the bathroom wastebasket, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, that's bad. I always assume people shit their pants as neatly as I do. Not always.
Well, maybe
you're a gentleman.
Some people don't have practice. You've developed a certain style.
I shit my pants at someone else's house. I take them fucking with me. Yes, you don't.
No pants left behind.
Yeah.
In that situation. Well, it's like if you shit those pants and you take them with you, nobody can prove it. But if you shit them pants and leave them, you're fucking.
That's really what it boils down to.
Yeah. I think now that I think of it, it was Sam. Sam Talent, who left his shitty underwear here, and then I don't know, left his underwear here, like in the little house. Tim Dillon clogged the toilet and left it clogged.
See that?
Yeah.
Uh,
Bad form.
He lower deckered you.
Sometimes there's not anything you can do about it, though. I mean, I guess you could come to the house manager and be like, "Look, I got a problem there. We've got to deal with." But
imagine Dylan just knocking outside Stanhope's door for about 2 hours early in the morning. Hey, dude, I clogged up your shit, or Stanhope's just fucking Sarah quelled out. Fucking, I'm just out of here. I'm leaving.
Yeah,
that's probably what happened.
Yeah, that's what I'm picturing. I feel really bad. I clogged up your shitter.
Tim Dillon's a big dude, man.
Wake up! You got a plunger.
Yeah,
takes gigantic shits. I'll bet.
Tucson, Mexican food, and then a drive to Bisbee, and then you fucking punch that out after some drinks. The problem isn't necessarily what Dylan did. It's the Bisbee plumbing.
It's not good.
Yeah, I bet there's not a lot of, it's not meant for big city shit sucks.
There's a big city shit.
Yeah, you don't come into our town and take them big shits.
Yeah, that's some New York shit there.
I will tell you, a lot of them toilets are little. I don't remember if you guys have little toilets there in like the little house, Chaille, but like at my house, I had little toilets and I didn't know it. Like, when we bought our house, we just had the toilets that came with it.
Yeah.
And like, I shit for a long time until the toilet went out years later. And then I went to Home Depot toilet shopping for the first time. And I was like, well, fuck, they make different size toilets.
Well, they've got round bowls. They got oval bowls. They've got an elongated, a taller bowl. Yeah. And then I guess if you have an old house, no offense, but I'm just saying that like someone may have put an older toilet in there. When we were we did recently get the toilet swapped out in the little house where Tim Dillon was. Not unrelated, had nothing to do with that.
No choice.
But he clogged it up. The plumber was like, I don't know how you block porcelain. Nothing sticks to porcelain. But we did swap it out. But the guy told me, he goes, yeah, you want to be careful because, like what you said, Chad, it's old plumbing and stuff like that. You get some of the new city toilets in the old plumbing out here, and you can just blow out the pipes because they've got new innards on the toilets that go high pressure and stuff. So yeah, you want to be careful with that. But yeah, you there's all sorts of sizes.
I didn't know. I didn't know for years. I just fucking shit in a coffee can and didn't even know it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should. I bet. Well, when you took a shit at Johnny Depp's, or at least you said you used the toilet there at Johnny Depp's, that must have been more. I would think Johnny Depp has a toilet size appropriate for a Chad Shank.
It was a regular old toilet, but it was black.
Yeah,
and I had never shit in a black toilet before. I was
black.
I was very confused as to what to do. I had to use my flashlight on my phone to make sure that I didn't leave streaks. Anyway, I was very self-conscious.
Oh, man. Yeah. Like, how would you? I mean, you wouldn't know.
Yeah, well, I mean, you do. You think you wouldn't, but you do.
Like a black car, you think it's not going to look dirty, but it always looks dirty.
Always looks dirty.
Every little thing just shows up.
I love that Andy thinks that the pinnacle of making it is that Johnny Depp finds out the size of his house guests and gets the toilet made custom to their preference.
I walked in and it was like stepping into the Goldilocks and the Three Bears. I was like, not this one. Nope, not this one.
That's the one.
There it is.
Oh, is there multiple toilets in the bathroom?
Oh, dude, there's rooms all over the place.
Fucking yeah.
This was not the main house. The house that was designed by Disney.
Houses.
This was the one across the cul-de-sac where the recording studio was. And I remember I don't know, we were in, I think, his daughter's room, and there was a room off the side of it, and it was this like a large room that'd be like a workshop size, and all it had was guitar cases. for all the guitars that are hung up.
Yeah.
The whole house has. I love it. It's so awesome. There's
Yeah.
guitars everywhere, and that room was just cases, and they were all labeled for all the guitars that are hanging up all over the place. Insane.
Yeah. Whatever happened to that actor?
Well, I'll show you because now that you said that.
How long
Hold
till
on,
Tom
I got
Brady
a little
is-
something here. You guys, you guys will like this. I found this today on online. Get this.
Chad, are you Oh, that's right. Chad's in a different space.
Here we go. Listen now.
I just want to explain something. This is not my fault what I'm about to do. This is not a cigarette. This is a stage prop. It's a prop. Yeah. And there is a loophole in the law that I learned from my dear friend and a great comedian, Doug Stanhope. Doug discovered that smoking on stage is, it's like if Chekhov put a cigarette into a scene. What are you gonna do, cut it out? Don't do this anywhere, it's stupid. It's actually stupid, it really is. It's one of the dumbest things I've ever done in my life.
That's great.
I have no idea where it's from. It just came up on one of these little reels.
Yeah, that's a huge crowd, right? That crowd.
Huge.
shot,
It was some kind of interview show, kind of like Inside the Actor's Studio, but it wasn't because that wasn't James Lipton.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that was great when Doug would do that when he first started doing that, and he would allow people in the audience to join him on stage to smoke as long as they had 1 foot on the stage or whatever. And it was such a weird thing to
It
see.
led to some
Doug doing
weird
his act and then random people walking up to the stage and putting 1 foot on the stage and then lighting a cigarette and standing there for a few minutes.
Andy, do you remember that at the Lake Shore?
Oh, I remember. Are you thinking of Chicago?
Yeah.
Like Doug had so yeah.
It was 2 shows. One was the Unbookables, and then the second show was Doug Stanhope.
Yeah.
And the problem is that it kind of dilutes the second show if you've got the first show, so people go to one rather than the other, right? So Doug invited everyone in the audience up on stage, and then they made Norm Wilkerson do his set in the front row. So everyone on stage smoking cigarettes and just fun. Andy, that's when you were pissed into a bucket.
Well, there were several people peeing. The show ran long, and there was a pretty active piss bucket. I know I pissed in it a few times. I think Doug peed in it.
There is a restroom backstage. I mean,
this was like because it's like
the
audience of Norm Wilkerson needed. It was like a live stage show put on for Norm Wilkerson's humiliation. But there was a guy who was sitting by the bucket, and I felt, if this guy's still alive, I hope he's dead, just so I don't have to feel bad about this anymore. But he was sitting by the piss bucket, and he was getting up, and I just had a nervous tick or whatever. And I kicked I didn't mean to kick the bucket. I didn't mean to
kick the bucket.
I kicked the bucket in, I kicked it and it's not, I think it tipped over or it just, the whole thing splashed on
it. It did that thing where it goes up the side.
Yeah, it did. It did on the way.
Pee on him.
Yeah, and this guy got, I basically, dumped like 5 or 6 different people's urine on him all at once. And I really can't say that it was premeditated. It's like one of those things where you just see a weird opportunity and you do it. And then I felt bad before the piss hit him. I was like, oh no. And he saw it and I saw it. And it was a shared moment of, oh man. and then it hit him. And then he didn't get, I would have probably slapped me or something. Or at least scolded me or whatever. But I think what hurt even worse was he just seemed sad and disappointed by what had happened. And that hurt. I mean, that's why I hope he's no longer suffering.
It's a dangerous idea to take up a seat next to a bucket of piss anyway. I mean,
it's kind of on him.
There's no good outcomes.
Thanks, guy. Yeah, I feel better now. Yeah. Well, yeah, at some point, the show went off the rails. And at some point, if you're still sticking around towards the end, what do you think's going to happen?
Well, I'll tell you when it went off the rails. We got there and the guy who was booking the show, Captain something, We called him Captain something. I can't remember his name, but he was running it, and he goes, "Hey guys," and we immediately ushered into a bar, like a day regular bar next door to the Lakeshore Theater, and he had us all drinking Jägermeister at like 4 p.m. So it was not going to get any better. That was kind of setting the
there was a and now we can speak of it because it's out of business. But this guy,
shocking.
this one guy, he was connected somehow or whatever, and I don't know, connected to what or whatever. But he called me over and basically to tell me, you know, I sucked, and then which I don't, you know, I get, you know, at that I was okay with hearing that or whatever, but you know, and then he wanted to keep going on about it, you know.
And here's why.
And so yeah, like Reggie Watts, you know, like he was comparing what Reggie Watts did, and then
Reggie Watts,
yeah, like he was
the
like
singer from Maktub.
Is that the dude with the big hair?
Yeah, but he's done a thing on his own. He used to be in a band.
Yeah, like I'm not going to do the same thing he did on stage, and plus there was like there wasn't, you know. Anyway, and then he, like, you know, he's like gave me you know, he's kind of a dick or whatever, and then he gives me an 8-ball. It's like, you know, so it's like I've been criticized by people, and it did involve free drugs. If that's how loose that place was with drugs, is they gave them to performers they didn't like. You know? It's a different heavy-handed handshake. It comes with 5 minutes of criticism, which I took.
Did he say thank you for your time and then hand it to you?
I guess this is like incentive to do better.
Yeah.
Or
he should have got to you before the show.
Yeah.
But that place was not destined. I mean, it could have. It was a really nice space in Chicago, but it just seemed like it was like a fucking it was a well-designed ship taking on a lot of big fucking waves head on.
Yeah, that was right down the street from Wrigley's.
I think it's the Laugh Factory now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I can't imagine it. I mean, it was all redone and everything. It
looks nothing like it doesn't look anything like the Lakeshore inside at all.
Really?
It's just in the same space. Pretty wild.
I have video of that somewhere.
God, those were I mean, that one with Doug and the garbage can.
That was it. When I pulled them off,
was just so fucking weird. From what I remember, and
wasn't the air conditioning out too, and it was like super hot.
No, that was in I believe that was in Athens, where it was with Junior and Carlos Valencia. And we bought those crazy suits, those pimp suits.
Yeah, well, I think that was in Lakeshore Theater too.
I mean, it could be that place was kind of, you know, run down.
And Provenza was there.
Right.
No.
He was
Provenza was there?
Yeah, Provenza was friends with the guy who ran that club.
Ritter. Was his name Ritter?
Ritter, yeah. That's right.
That's how it all got set up, was through Paul.
And Ritter was in the first, I think, green room. Ritter's in the audience. If not the first, he was in the audience of some of them, but I mean, it was one of those clubs. Like, you ever go to a place and you just go, "Oh, this isn't going to last." That's definitely that's
all of these things, man. For me, it's like I have some great memories. I just wish I could remember them.
Oh boy, yeah.
You know, like I all of that's just vague to me. You know.
Yeah, I remember. Well, I mean, we kept pranking on Norm Wilkerson, and Brendan Walsh, but we're, you know, basically calling the front desk and saying, you know, he was suicidal. I don't even know what.
Yeah, he was down in a different room, and we were all hanging out in our room. I think Andy, I think you didn't even have a room because you and I shared a bed because you were leaving early.
Yeah,
and Brendan Walsh was on fucking fire, telling Norm Wilkerson, "You're not funny. I'm funnier than you." And then they did a joke off, and the one whoever they told 5 jokes or 3 jokes or whatever, one at a time, and the one who won each round got to punch the other guy in the ass. Yeah, it was
I'll never get
great.
I can't get that memory of Norm Wilkerson kind of enjoying getting spanked in the ass, not kind of enjoying it, but he took it as good as anybody could get spanked in the ass.
Didn't we we broke into his room somehow?
I kept going, like how, I don't even know why I would do the accent, because they maybe didn't even know him. But hi, I'm Norm Wilkerson. I locked myself out of my room, and then they'd give me. That place would give out a room key. So then we'd move stuff around in his room, and one time we put a bump down, put a line down in his room, which that's never happened to anybody. They leave their room and then there's a rail installed.
The cocaine fairy was visible.
And then we had a toy gun, and then we put that in his luggage. I mean, it wasn't well thought out, and it was probably cruel or whatever.
See, this is why Brendan Walsh went crazy at the desert party, because all those,
that was part of it. Yeah,
because all the things he had done to other people, he was like, oh, I think they did all this shit to me, which sounded outlandish, but it doesn't to him, because he's done all of that shit to other people. He went to the airport thinking we stashed a bunch of drugs in his suitcase, and he just
and then seeing me, I'm involved, full partnered with whatever we were planning on doing to Wilkerson. Fortunately, I don't think he got caught at the airport with a firearm or anything, but that was the intent.
Norm.
That was that was like that Ritter overpaid the fuck, that's why you just knew it wasn't going to work for Ritter. Is like, I mean, he paid the right amount for Doug, but then he flew Wilkerson in, to do this gig, and then I think me and Brendan, and was there another
Brian Petrovka. He fell asleep in between the shows. And I think they woke him up just to do the second show opening for Doug. And then he went back to sleep. And at the end, he woke up and came out and saw all the mayhem on the stage. He's like, what the fuck? But he slept in between the shows.
That guy was like, he was definitely a weird duck for sure. I wonder what happened with him. He was like, way stranger than Junior. For sure, but he did like that. I think there was like a series of shows following the wild success of the Unbookables movie release or whatever. You're a star of it, Erickson. You can
We had a good run.
Fuck yeah, but that was one of the tangible. Well, that, and then was sort of, I think it was just a booking, but in Amsterdam we did those shows, and then it was under the Unbookables. So that was like, okay, the Amsterdam trip was the one cool thing.
Yeah.
And then we got banned basically from Amsterdam. Not really Amsterdam, but Toomler's.
The Toomler for sure.
Well, they take a negative view of powdered drugs in Amsterdam.
On stage in front of the audience.
Yeah, it's just what Johnny Depp was saying did not apply to cocaine in Amsterdam.
I guess not. You'd push the limit there.
It also didn't apply to somebody with actual clout and fans, because Doug's been back to the Toomler. He was the one who brought the drugs up onto the stage. He didn't get banned from the Toomler, just the fucking unimportant dipshits that were along for the ride with him.
Yeah.
I mean, it was fine. None of us were ever coming back to the Toomler. So
no, it was like it's like when I got kicked out of Lake Shasta. The guy said, "Don't come back ever."
For a whole lake, like the mayor of Lake Shasta.
Yeah, and he wasn't in position to, it's got to go through other people. You can't, that he'd have preferred it.
You can't lay down a blanket ban like that.
I mean, it's like I wasn't the, I was at the fire. I didn't, I got to go through my legal team here. I was the one swinging the flaming post, but I wasn't the one who lit it on fire.
Yeah,
that's how
it's like you're part of it.
But as it come, they saw, it was like shit. You don't burn anyway,
You sound like a January 6th defense.
Right.
Yeah, I was just on a sightseeing.
Well, it was a thing that was part of the camp area, like it shouldn't have been burnt. And I,
like a signage.
I mean, I could have, yeah. It was a post, a big heavy post that had like a number or whatever. It wasn't something
That's
you
a sign.
up. Yeah.
It was like the marker for what
there because also what it also
it's a sign that said no burning.
This is the kind of people I was with, and I didn't, like I said, I didn't start the fire or anything, but they'd knocked the wall off of the bathroom. It had like slats or whatever. They kicked those out and they'd knocked them, broke them up and burnt those. So then they had this big fucking giant steak.
Were you guys filming a 1950s biker?
These guys were assholes, These guys were assholes, and so they were. We had a big post that was like you could only put a part of it in the fire, and it was dangerous. So that's where I come in. It was dangerous.
Wait,
There's nothing.
Come on,
to lessen the danger, you decided to swing it around.
I swung it into a tree to break it off.
So another thing that's flammable.
And that's where that's what I mean.
Smokey the Bear.
It's surprising. This guy, I don't think at the time when he saw that going down, I don't think he realized what was burning. If he knew it was like company property we were burning, he just thought we were assholes. And then he said, and I tried to explain,
national park.
I tried to. Yeah. No, I mean, I agree. I should have, if there was a procedure, I qualified as somebody who shouldn't come back to the park at all. I had trouble. I was just a little, I don't know, too drunk, maybe it's the word for it.
A single spark in Northern California will.
Oh, I know. Like,
fucking,
this was
10,000 acre fire.
They weren't quite as worried about things, but yeah, I was exactly somebody that should have been apprehended and taken to someplace and taught I don't know what the fucking I mean, it's like, the second or third person that commits a crime or whatever, they would never be at the crime scene, but there you are. And there I was with these yahoos that burnt the bathroom wall and are burning a big thing. And I add to it. But like
the guy walked up right when you were swinging this fucking burning 4x4 against the tree.
He was there in the aftermath. And big fuck. That's why he didn't see the big part of the thing. Otherwise he would have said, what the fuck, you fucking assholes. And then they would have probably just gotten the police down there, and they would have gone, oh, it's that fucking guy who had one flip-flop and like I had a short run at this Lake Tahoe where it's just like
wait, Tahoe or Shasta?
Shasta.
Okay.
Yeah. We go to Lake Shasta. That's the one that rents the houseboats and shit. Not anymore because it's damn near dry. But I think I was only there once, and it was like, man, some of the shit, I fucking made out with a chick after she vomited. I ended up fucking
remember that story.
Woman with a stinky pussy, and just a couple of camp areas over, and I don't remember, but it's just like it could have been like 48 to 72 hours in the life of somebody else. And it's just like 12 hours of just like, Jesus Christ, like if I was a witness to it, I would have put a taser in myself. Go fucking down, bro.
So you're just going from camp to camp.
Plus we sunk a boat. I went with this same crew after burning half of the camp area. We took a too small boat with a keg across to go to the houseboat parties. Yeah. And we didn't make it across the lake because the boat sunk. But then we got rescued, and then I ended up getting my rescue boat, went over to the boat parties, and then I met a girl and we hit it off because after she vomited, I put we made out. It's like, trying to help settle her stomach or something. It's like I didn't remember that. It's like my friends go, "Do you remember making out with that chick after she vomited?" And I go, "Oh, okay, she did have kind of fucked up taste in her mouth, but I didn't remember seeing her vomit." Or I don't think I would have done that. I seen the vomit. I have a weak stomach.
Damn.
And then
you have a tear.
And then and then I got taught. So that was the sister of a dude. I didn't like that. Anyway, I got booted from the houseboat parties, and I ended up on the other side. And
the other side of what? The lake?
The other side of the lake, and then there's a stretch where you can get on the fucking freeway. And I didn't want to. I was following these other people, and they seemed to get up on the freeway, and my flip flop, one of them blew out.
Oh man!
At some point, I'd walk.
Blew out your flip flop.
Yeah, and I didn't know this, but later I would find out that I'd walk through poison oak at some point. But while I was still hot, I got up on the freeway, and it's fucking as expected when you're completely hammered with one flip flop and dusk and the fucking I-5 traffic zipping by. And I made it off of that, but the people who were in front of me when I got to the camp area, and this is like planes, trains, and automobiles, I'm down the wrong runway and shit, walking fucking cars honking, flipping, they're making sport with me on this 2-mile stretch or whatever I had to walk on the freeway to get back to my side of the lake. And then there were some women in front of me. And I tried to keep up with them, after making out with the one, I thought I'll stay on these others.
They were on foot as well?
Yeah, they were on foot, but I didn't even see this because I was far enough behind them, but they got up to the freeway and a cop stopped and picked them up right away and took them to the camp area. So this sort of thing happens, no big deal. Anyway, I was fucking, I can't say I was in the right in any of this, but I got back to the camp area, come up there, and I holding my flip flop, all fucking mad. And then I saw that crew, it was like 3 girls and a dude, and they said, maybe it was just a couple, 3 of them. There's 3 of them, and they said they got a ride from the police. Like, what? I just was all sweaty and sticky, and poison oak was growing in my toes. And then I said, so then after they told me that, then here comes the police car coming up from the other end of the campground, and I yelled, I didn't have to do anything. I didn't have anything smart to say, but it didn't keep me from fucking piping up. And I said something, and then that cop.
You don't remember what you said?
I don't. Something about I wanted to ride you too. You fucking ass. Something. It was like a stupid. You would have thought I come from a much richer family. I just didn't have life experiences. If you sass the cop, it's like in a camp area. It's not like, it was on the freeway where he couldn't stop and maneuver his car over there. He just stopped it in the middle of the road, and he got out and he walked around to me, and then he got in my fucking face, and he started, I think I might have been up against his car, and he's hitting me in it happened. This happened to me multiple. I can count 3. A preacher did it to me, a cop did it to me, a teacher did it to me. I have to think about it, but he was right there giving me, a whole to do about, punks like me. I didn't say anything about it. I've already been kicked out of this whole camp area. I sunk a boat. And that was like the worst of it was yet to come that evening with the fucking stinky pussy lady. But she was a full-on participant. It's not like I just stumbled into her camp area and she was asleep.
Didn't we have a picture of you and the stinky pussy lady at one point?
I don't think so. I don't think I would have
heard this. Did this story. It's fucking.
It was bad. I
remember there being like a weird picture of young Andy Andrist just like
I don't
blackout drunk.
Man,
I don't remember that.
There's pictures from that camping trip, but I don't know if I don't think I think there's a photo, and then in the thing somebody wrote Andy's girlfriend or whatever, and she was not like I had already been angling for a breakup as soon as I woke up. Smelled the sleeping bag and goes whoosh, And I couldn't remember that many details about her, you know, but then later when I saw her, some of it, you know, in that blackout drunk, you're like, oh man. And I was, you know, it's not her fault or whatever. And, you know, she didn't know she would be entertaining company.
The house is a mess. I'm sorry. I didn't know you were coming over.
Oh, geez, let me just hose out this stink pot.
If I'd have known you're coming out of baked cake.
So did she fouled up
Smells
your
like a
sleeping
baked
bag?
bread.
Well, yeah, I mean, I raw dogged her, of course, and then what, you know, I just like just had some, you know, I had definitely some red flags. I mean, some problems, and I, you know, I didn't have it's. I don't think college really kicked me out, as it just, you know, I exhausted all my possibilities. Whatever. But
Well,
they,
if you suffered stink pussy in a sleeping bag, you're in like a Dutch oven situation there.
Oh yeah, I mean, I
that,
still had another day to camp in
And you
it.
gave her poison oak for sure.
And I was still in the running with these some other, like, you know, like I had some, you know, I didn't know how much fucking power I had back then. Just a little bit of dumb luck, and you know, I would, you know, stumble into the wrong camp area, and it could have been the love of my life. It didn't work out that way in her vagina.
You tried. You really tried.
I don't think that's called a Dutch oven, Chaille. I think that's called a Mexican grill.
on Baja steak night. But yeah, and you know, I doubt I even got her name.
Oh.
Yeah, she probably didn't want to tell you her name.
That might have been my peak. Like age 19 to 21, 22 in there. I was you know, I had a lot of bounce back. I don't know that remember having as much shame as I should.
That's the alcohol.
Right. Yeah. I worked myself over pretty good with shame. So then by the time I got 19,
is a learned thing too, where you learn to just be used to it. So it doesn't affect you as much. I lived in shame for so many years too. You get used to it.
Well, I would just get drunker the next night. I mean, I was in situations where the alcohol was coming pretty fast, and I'd be, you know, 1 month, 2 months at a band house, and it was walking distance or living in the same, you know, building. So you just let's go get Bloody Marys, and then that shame went away real fucking quick.
Yeah, if you you know, can keep that up a while, then it dissipates until it has to come bubbling out all at once or whatever. But yeah, it's just
I got about 7 years of playing music, and I don't remember most of it. I made some great friends, but yeah, I don't. And it's like you said, Erickson. All those things happen, but I don't remember the stories. That's why I love it when like Erickson, when we go out with Duran and everyone and hanging out. They tell me things that I go, I guess I did that. I do, you know.
Yeah, I like. Well, I mean, I definitely was like that at 19, and definitely probably like that at 18. But I had to go to high school or whatever, and was still around my parents. But once I got into an apartment on my own and shit, and there was like nobody would turn the bar out, you know. As long as you had a whole bottle of whiskey or whatever, the bar was never going to close on you and shit.
Yeah.
And I didn't have the skill set to do that. Not a community college level. That's a step up from high school.
Yeah, you were a jet engine, but
definitely was. Yeah, if I would have gone to like straight out of high school to a real university and shit, that would have just been fucking boom out one, you know, one semester in jail,
Florida State.
semester now. Yeah. I had to put my foot in the bathwater at community college where they didn't give a fuck at all. It's just a building. There was no college. You just went to classes and it was a building.
Yeah, maybe if you'd have gone straight to university, you would have replaced Bert Kreischer as the #1 college partier.
Yeah.
You know, That could be your life. You could be the
me, man.
You were the machine, the real.
Yeah. I just
we'd have to look at you without your shirt on all the time.
Yeah, I have I have a belly that pokes out when I'm, so I have thought, I got this gig coming up, and like it's been a while since I've had to like come, it's like I don't really feel like I got a fucking set. I can just go, yeah, this is what I'll do or whatever, but like maybe I'll just take my shirt off.
It works.
So and then I'll tell a joke about being really fucked up in college, shitting my pants, and then bada bang, and then I get a phone call from Kreischer's lawyers. That's Bert's intellectual property. Taking your shirt off, being.
It'll work for one show at least.
Yeah,
I know, and there's 2 shows, so that's the problem.
They added a second show, didn't they?
I think so.
Yeah.
So I'm fucking it was great in theory a while back, and now I'm like, God, fuck, man. But I'm opening up for Billy. I'll have fun, and I'm not gonna put a bunch of fucking failure pressure on it, because fucking cancer could have killed me, and that's way worse than not being hilarious every second. Hopefully, I can kind of start building a set and all that shit again. But
what do you mean? Hopefully, aren't you doing some time anywhere?
I haven't done any time anywhere. I mean, I've done time here.
You got a little time. You got a week. Can't you?
I'd be better served to just hit the theater crowd and give them the first taste.
So
what could go wrong?
He's gonna Andy Andrist it, is what he's saying.
Right. Do you want your stool that has your set list on it? From the Funhouse here?
I'm gonna do similar though. I'm gonna at least know my topics.
Yeah.
If I don't have, I don't know. Hey man, it's gonna roll like this because I've done this.
You'll be fine, dude.
What I'm gonna say when I start though is hey, thanks for coming out as I lay out my new hour or whatever. What do people say? I'm going to run through my new hour.
Running my hour.
Yeah, I'm running my hour, and then it'll be like, 25 minutes.
Wait, you're going up and doing 25 cold?
Oh, you didn't? Yeah, I didn't think about the cold part. Jesus. Yeah.
Well, I thought you said 5.
Yeah. I heard 5, not 25.
25, yeah. So man, I'm but fuck, yeah.
Fine, man. Just fucking let them have
All right. So this is a great a good chance to promote Billy Wayne Davis. You go to bwdtour.com. They've added a second show on the March 18th at the Siren Theater, and it's the new location. And from what I've read, it's updated. It's great. Everyone's excited. And
I'll be their first thing.
I wish I could be
Siren Theater. Yeah. Well, I mean, I still got 8 days to pull some, but I'd say, fuck, man, I got way too used to just fucking rolling up and sleeping through this life. I kind of wanted to keep doing that. Yeah. It doesn't pay for anything to just curl up in a fucking fetal position and let time go by.
Talk about your cancer. People will feel sorry for you.
That's what I got. Cancer. Hey man, how about let's give it up for everybody whose lives been affected by cancer.
Oh, that's an applause for you.
Yeah.
And I'm cancer fighter, and then I'll have that music, I'll have music that implies I'm a fighter. And then the dance number, that's like, all I got to do is get people ready for Billy Wayne Davis. That's the job. And I can do that by being hilarious for 25 minutes and putting heat on Billy. Well, that's not what I'm going to do.
I love that you're going to go to the extent of working up production numbers before you go on, but you're not going to work on an act.
No,
I got but it's just like, they're not. It's like Brett said, some of it I'm talking about the fucking cancer, because it's like, I'm still coming out. This is my coming out of the pandemic. I'm still, it was fucking, I did the last shot recording, and then it's like a few months later, then the world changed, and then I got cancer. So and then whatever. I think I think Trump's going to get indicted before the gig in New York.
You mean elected?
State. Yeah, elected. Trump Jr. Anyway, anyway, I might have some current events up my sleeve. Yeah, it's like I know how to ride a bike, but it's been so long and shit that it's not going to be, it's not going to be straight. It's going to wobble around and shit. But I'll blame the audience and cancer.
But you have time. You can.
I know. No, I mean, I do. That's what I'm going to do. But I'm not. Yeah, I'm not. We'll see. Hey, man,
I'm on your side, Andy.
I know. No, I mean, you're not wrong, and I will have a set list together. It's just I'm not gonna have a bunch of How do I know if shit works? It's just me and my my cat by my feet a lot of times. Whatever. It's gonna be what I'm just gonna be talking.
I mean, you've got every week you do this, so you're able to get the rhythm and hearing your own voice. It's not like you're on a desert island talking to a
right. Oh yeah. No, and this is true. I mean, if it wasn't for the podcast, I wouldn't have taken the gig, because then I would shit, man, that'd be far removed from this is the only conversation I have with anybody all week.
Except when you go get a sandwich.
When I tuck this computer, it's all awkward and getting startled and very little discussion. Very little discussion. I got to walk by her pamphlets to get to the kitchen, sitting there quietly. That's part of the comedy act right there.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
There.
But yeah, so I mean, that's I'm not completely fucking freaked out by it, because I have done some international comedy presentations.
Yes.
And there's some drama. So, I think people want a little of both now. And really, people only have the attention span for about 6 minutes. So basically, I'm going to lose them 3 or 4 times.
And they're just there to see Billy Wayne Davis.
They're there to see Billy Wayne. Yeah. And if I, fucking, and then, yeah, anyway. Yeah, I wasn't like, oh man, cool, there's a second show. It's like, it's like, I plan on fucking ducking out. Okay, there's some shit that needs to be worked on. Now get back out there, a second half. Like, no, man, we've already lost this game, man.
Second half.
Second half.
I don't know. I don't know how far Portland is from Eugene. Are you going to?
It's an hour and a half.
Would you stay the night, or are you just going to go home?
I'm gonna go home. I think. All right. Double show. My friend Mac is gonna go up and shit. So we'll just fucking drive back after. I would think. No need. I was just in Portland and I got my belly full of Portland. I mean, it's I don't know. Portland's all right, but if you don't have anything cool to do up there, go to the Siren.
You can do some anarchy.
I mean, yeah. Every time I'm in Portland, I think, man, like I should have, like I'm in Antifa, but I always forget my uniform. When I'm in Portland, I should always have my. I guess I probably had a jacket I wore with it, but it's basically the batting helmet that says Antifa. But
a helmet?
It's funny.
You're missing one of your rope sandals. You can get one at the Twiddle concert.
Man, yeah. I'll get a new pair.
They don't sell pairs, buddy.
You need boots for
they only sell one.
Yeah. Well, I could be like there's a lady, and I've seen her at all the Twiddle shows. She sells pins and buttons, and some of them are all right, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But she also dances at all the Twiddle shows. Like she's on, like when our hippie guy started getting all twisted on the drugs in the desert, where it's like, oh man, it's like you don't look at it like a freak show. I don't look at it as a freak show. I look at it as like, oh man, I wish I was that free or whatever to do that.
that high.
And then there was this other dude at the Twiddle show. I think I don't know, whatever the spectrum that he's on. Yeah. But he was writing down what each song was, but he would also, as soon as the song would start, he would be each member of the band for a bit during the song.
Like air guitar or something?
Yeah. Bass, guitar, drums. And but he had a good time. And I was like, man, I wonder what that. Hey man, do you got any more of that spectrum? I'll do a little.
You got any? Can I hit that autism, bro?
Yeah, man. Like autism sometimes seems like a trip that's working out pretty well.
What you said, he was writing things down?
He would write it down, like the first couple of notes, and he would write. I didn't look at it. I assume he was putting together,
Some people do the set list. They post a set list.
I don't know anything that Humphreys McGee played, and I couldn't tell you. I mean, they didn't have a lot of lyrics to their.
Yeah, it's improvised.
Yeah, and then there was shit going on in the crowd that I didn't get.
Like what?
But I liked it. There'd just be like, all of a sudden people would be like, like a shit, a blend when they blend. It's almost this, and then this is my first Humphreys shows, and I was on Not Enough Mushrooms, but it sort of seemed like the guitars would almost be playing different songs simultaneously, and then they would all of a sudden kind of blend into one, and then that's when I think people would cheer. Am I right? Because I would it seemed like two distinctive different things were going on with the guitar that weren't like necessarily complementary or whatever. They were playing two separate things,
like
is
different
that right?
songs.
Yeah,
like Stairway to Heaven and AC/DC Back in
something
Black.
like that. But maybe the Mushrooms were doing a little more than I thought.
So people cheered when it was over.
Yeah, no,
that's exactly what the Humphreys that you guys listen to, that Zonky album. That is exactly what that is. It's not just it's not just a medley of songs. It's playing two songs at the same time and finding the similarities between them and fusing them together. So right. A lot of their music it's improvised, it's wild, and they'll take a song that they've been playing for years and it changes and becomes different things, and it
was a cool. I liked the music, and the crowd was it was it was pretty much a similar crowd at Twiddle, but I think that these people had better drugs at the Humphrey show per person. If you were to go across, I think the people go to the Twiddle show hoping that somebody will have weed or something.
Right.
People go to the Humphreys and
everybody's on
better shit.
Yeah, everybody's on Molly.
Yeah. Okay. There was a real Molly vibe to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I thought it was just me.
Nope. It's definitely it.
Well,
come on out to I know you're coming to Austin at the end of the month, but you can come back in April and go with me to see Humphreys when they're here.
You're
420
for what? 420?
420. They're here in Austin.
Shit.
So
yeah,
it's gonna be fun.
I'll explain what they're doing to you. I could Humphreys explain.
Yeah.
No, I knew it was there was I knew it was the people who were there had seen a lot of shows, and I was it's always hard when you're not familiar with their stuff, so you're listening for the first time. But yeah, what a fucking fun bunch of people. There's this one dude who could have been the guy from Black Crowes. He looked like that
Chris Robinson, the singer.
Yeah, he looked just like Chris Robinson, had a hat and a cool hippie chick or whatever, but he would do he would snort something and then he would just go kind of just out. I don't even know. Maybe it was taken, but yeah, whatever it was like he was pretty good about he'd do it and then tuck it, and he'd pull shit. He seemed to be passed out on his feet, but his hands still managed to get his dope back in his pocket pretty easily. But yeah, I'm not so sure it wasn't Chris Robinson from the Crows. But man, yeah, that. But there was it was also like people, yeah, like the Molly, but like of course, like people who would you would expect to see walking out of the woodwork at our party. People dressed in light up shit and having a good time. So yeah, I definitely was happy. Yeah, maybe that was the fucking. I don't think he had the beard. There's only so many dudes that look like that. He's like fucking tall, lanky.
Yeah.
Dude, and you'd expect him to be at something like that almost.
Why not?
And more women, I don't get it. Why Twiddle has women that go to their concerts, but not like Humphreys. I guess this is Molly.
Yeah, I was about to say it sounds like there's a key ingredient missing.
Uh-huh. Yeah, the fun bus, Twiddle's about the weed and the reggae and all that shit. And it's like, as it turns out, I like it amped up just a little bit more now and again.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, a good like also like like I bumped into a couple people there. Like accidentally bumped hard into, and it's like it's just no, I like sometimes you go to like a metal show or something, like you bounce into somebody and then there's got to be some sort of a fucking apology or whatever, and this is just like, oh man, sorry man, or
What metal show did you go to last, Andy?
I went to one in Boise, Idaho. It's Anthrax.
Really?
Damn. Yeah, I went to Anthrax. Yeah, it was free.
Yeah.
So I just wandered in there. Marilyn Manson's not really metal.
I mean that
like a metal audience, I wouldn't like. I would if like when me and Doug opened for Manson and got the crowd all worked up. Yeah. If it turned to shit, I think I could have fought my way through that crowd. Whereas at a metal show, I don't think I could fight my way through a crowd. You get stabbed or something. But like the Marilyn Manson crowd is like Comic-Con metal nerds.
Mostly because they're all in junior high.
Yeah.
They're all in junior high waiting to fuck him after the show. Just remember one big fat face guy who had goth makeup on, and he was like, "Get off the stage, you suck." I wish it were a meme because it would be a perfect meme. But that's what every time I think of that, I think of that guy, and he was so fucking. Yell all you want, fucking goth head. You're not getting.
This is when you guys were preventing the crowd from seeing Marilyn Manson by doing your.
We weren't even an opening act. We're an opening annoyance.
Yeah.
Like an opening act would try. We were like, just go fuck yourself. Doug was doing like, hey, do you guys like insurance and shit? Like, instant fucking get off the stage. You fucking.
It's fantastic.
It's
and
liberating.
Marilyn Manson's in the wings.
Marilyn Manson wanted that.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't care about his crowd, and he wanted to see him get shit on. So we respected him as an artist enough to shit on his crowd while he watched it.
That's fucking great.
That's from the night, isn't it?
No, this is when they were at his place in LA.
Fun guy, that Brian. Don't go down to the basement. You're probably better off. He invites you to the basement and you're a dude. Probably doesn't matter, but if you're a chick,
something's gonna happen.
From what I hear, I heard the same things about Hedgehog, and those turned out to be mostly true.
Hedgehog, you mean
Ron Jeremy?
Ron Jeremy.
Yeah, he's in sad shape. He needs our thoughts and prayers. He's got dementia.
It's like Busey.
He's got to sit there in a room and he can't remember all the rapes. That's tough.
Oh shit. All right. Let's start wrapping this bad boy.
Right.
What do you say? What are you guys watching? What are you guys doing?
Hey, I wanted to thank you guys, you guys and the fucking Patreon. You guys are the reason why I'm sitting in this
La Quinta?
bricked in carport in somebody's house in Tucson.
Oh, okay. Is that what it is?
Yeah. the Airbnb. It's similar
Nice.
to Andy's.
Uh-huh.
I want to say Eduardo and Pilar are fantastic
Nice.
Airbnb hosts and have bent over backwards to help us since we've been here. And that's not just because they can probably hear me.
Where are you, in
because
Tucson?
They are very, very nice folks.
Well, that's great.
We're like fucking 5 minutes or miles. I don't remember which. I'm stoned. And, that's from earlier though, because I
That's
haven't been able
good.
to smoke weed on this podcast.
Yeah, I'm doubling
Also,
down.
if you have an Airbnb that's attached to your house and you say no smoking, it may not sound like a thing you want to list, but maybe add on there, say, hey, if you walk 2 houses down, there's a creek. We call it a wash in Arizona, just an empty creek. There's a wash full of homeless people where you can just smoke weed and it's the least of anybody's fucking problems. That's an amenity.
Selling point.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Nice.
yeah, thanks to all of you guys.
Well, yeah.
This is, as you see, very comfy. As a place to crash out. This is all there is to it.
That's all right.
Like an efficiency.
Oh man, we tried to when it's first. I guess I should tell you guys too. Whenever last week, my son was my adult son, 30-year-old son, recently moved back over to my house from West Virginia about last month, and he's been doing all my projects around the house that I haven't done for years to repay me for letting him stay at the house. So to me, it's a fucking great situation. I love it. All the shit that I feel guilty for not getting done has been getting done, and he feels good about it because he's, repaying us for helping him out, and it's a win-win for everybody. And last week, he called Jenny to come help him down the hallway because we had grandkids over, and he didn't want to scare the grandkids. And so Jenny went down the hallway to go help him, and he couldn't lift his left arm, and his fucking face kept fucking twitching out. We thought he's having a stroke. And Jenny brings him into the living room, and she was like, hey, should I call 911 and get an ambulance here? What do I do? Because we had grandkids and everything there. So it was more of a complicated, she knew it was an emergent situation. She was kind of just asking what was the most efficient thing to do.
Right.
And so I was like, no, I got all the kids. I go, you just throw him in the car and fucking go to the hospital. Hurry up. Because no. And then, of course, I asked him, I'm like, hey, you didn't do anything. You didn't fucking eat mushrooms or something. He's not telling me, right? He was like, I haven't done anything. And I'm like, all right, go to the fucking hospital. And he went, and they immediately said, yeah, he's having an aneurysm, and loaded him into the helicopter and flew him to Tucson.
Jeez.
And so that's why we're over here in Tucson.
I don't. What's the difference between an aneurysm and, like, if you have a stroke? Is it just a different vessel?
So here's the thing that I discovered. Basically, an aneurysm, he did not have an aneurysm because his thing didn't rupture. So what it is in his brain, it's where an artery meets a vein, and it's a malformation where it's all fucked up. So it's like where a big valve meets a little valve, and there's no check to it. After he had his fisherman will appreciate this because we grew up fishing. So after he had his MRI, he got to look at it, and he goes, Dad, he goes, I looked at it and everything lit up normal. He goes, but there was one spot in my brain where it looked like somebody backlashed a fishing reel. Like if you fucked up when you were fishing and you backlashed your reel, like it was just a
like where all the line goes all cattywampus.
Yeah. So basically it's just a high pressure line moving into a low pressure line, and once it busts, you're fucked. And so it was pressing on nerves and making him have all these stroke-like symptoms. And they got him helicoptered into the hospital before it hemorrhaged, which is good. But then when they did the angiogram, where they run the balloon up your groin
Yeah.
Good
into your
times.
brain to see things. They discovered that he had more, one in his carotid and one in something they call the circle of Willis. When I looked up, and it's like a fucking little circle of arteries that runs right around your brainstem he's got. So they had to figure out how to do surgery and all that. But good news is I just got text while we were here podcasting that he's out of surgery and waiting for me to come over and see him.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah, well, good.
He's all good.
Good thing. I mean, that would have been a bad way to end this podcast.
Yeah.
God damn. We don't like cliffhangers on here.
Yeah, those don't always go great on podcasts. Shit.
So
well,
it's been a wild fucking week for me. It's
yeah. So and just to put it out there for the Patreon people too, what Chad's mentioning is that so we took some of that Patreon money and set them up, because when you guys first went up there, they were at the La Quinta Inn and it was fucking garbage. It was, right?
So Jenny came up without me at first because I just stayed home to take care of the animals and stuff. Jenny goes over, I look it up and I find there's a La Quinta like right by the St. Joseph's Hospital. I get her set up. She goes in there, has to check in late at night, of course, after she gets out of the hospital, just exhausted. Fucking everything is a whirlwind. Gets checked in, passes out, wakes up in the middle of the night and discovers the whole place is fucking infested with bed bugs.
God damn.
I mean, bad.
I saw the pictures. So I don't even know what bed bugs are. They fucking they're like
I didn't either till she sent me these pictures.
Fucking jerks.
Oh man.
I just saw a really interesting YouTube video just last week, bed bugs, because we've in being in hotels as often as we are touring and stuff like that, you never really know. And one of the things is you check the corners of the bed where the seam, like where the pillow top meets the side, and you just peel that back a little bit and look in there, because the bed bugs, they like to hide in those crevices, and they're very active at night, usually between the hours of like 11 p.m. and 3 a.m. And they're responding to carbon dioxide. That gets them excited. So when you're asleep at that hour, that's when they start to come out, and then they hone in on you expelling the CO2.
So that's
the Quinta.
And they'll start out real flat. This one's not real flat, but as they this is a baby one, that's a nymph. But they'll just gorge, they'll be really flat like that. They'll gorge themselves until they, are just huge. And they can go sometimes a year without eating.
Oh,
really?
It's funny because she checked in at like midnight, and it was about 3 a.m. when she just woke up going, what the fuck? And just realized what was up, and had to bolt fucking from the room, throw away several articles of clothing, find a laundromat that was open in the middle of the night in Tucson, buy fucking detergents, fucking do, and wash every fucking single thing that she owned so that we don't have bed bugs at home, spend the next 3 hours. It was
the washing is important, but what kills them and their eggs is heat. So if you can get it up to like 120 degrees or like 20 minutes will kill the live bed bugs, but it takes 90 minutes to kill the eggs. But the heat is absolutely number one. They just cannot stand the heat, and that's the number one thing. And I mean I've looked at this before. I've never realized that it was just the heat that will get rid of them.
Luckily too is what I think too is most people don't even know. They just pack up their shit and go and move on, and they don't find out until later that they've been exposed. Whereas she was asleep only for a couple hours and woke up realizing like, what the fuck, and to prevent. But fuck you, La Quinta.
How was her breakfast?
Wasn't open at 3 when she bolted in fear.
Well, I'm glad your son came out of surgery. Get on over there and see him. Give him your love. That's good news. that's a scary fucking thing, but I'm glad it got caught when it did, and it sounds like you know, they got it. So that's
yeah, it'll be an ongoing thing, but it's definitely caught it early, and man, what a fucking nightmare.
No shit. Wow. All right, we got anything else?
My only recommendation is an easy one that I think everybody's probably seen it, but the Chris Rock comedy special was you know, everybody's got a comment on it in one way or another. Everybody's watching it, and it's good. It's not on par with the best Chris Rock I've ever seen, is what people are saying, but it's like, it's still fucking really good. So
did it live, right?
Yeah, it was a
live no
show.
takes.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, there's some really funny. It's the bit he does on Will Smith at the end is hilarious, and it's even, you know,
that's worth the price of admission right there.
Yeah, right there, that bit alone responds to that. But anyway, that's it.
Right on. I definitely have not been watching anything, of course, but I've been trying to listen to some audiobooks, and I immediately became hooked on one recently. I've not finished it, but Audible Plus, if you've got a subscription, it's free on there. It is Cormac McCarthy.
Oh yeah,
author of things you may have heard of, such as No Country for Old Men, The Road, which I recently listened to, which is fantastic. I am listening to Blood Meridian.
Yeah, it's a great one.
Fucking horribly violent, and I'm loving it.
Yeah, Cormac McCarthy is wild, man. All the Pretty Horses, that's a good one too.
I've got that one on. That one's not on Audible, but I've got that one on hold with Libby at one of the libraries. So that one I'll be listening to within the next few weeks. All the Pretty Horses, which is part of a series.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. All right. I haven't watched anything. I've been
comedy shows at
Comedy Mothership.
I've been watching it comedy. I saw Duncan Trussell last night at the Mothership, and my fucking God, that's my recommendation. Go get some Duncan Trussell in your life, whether you gotta dig up that Netflix cartoon that he did that is fantastic.
That was so good.
Or find some some stand-up of him. He does his he brought out Little Hobo last night. And
what's that?
Well, it's a bit of a sad story, because it turns out Duncan's grandpa passed away just right before the show, every show, and he left behind the only thing that he left behind was this ventriloquist doll. And Duncan's not a ventriloquist, but he brings Little Hobo out, and just as a tribute to his grandpa, and it's very sweet and nice, and you definitely need to see it. I fucking love that guy. He's he's a brilliant comedian and a brilliant person. I enjoy being around him. It's fucking
the show is called Midnight Gospel, and it is fucking great. It is so trippy. It's like going to an Humphreys McGee show. So.
There you go. Yeah, it's like he takes pieces of his podcast and then animates them with the fucking adventure
so good
animators, and it's just fucking wild. So yeah, that's my recommendation.
It's on Netflix.
Rewatch that.
Yeah.
So
I can't remember what I've been watching. I've been watching. I don't remember. So.
Chaille's been watching the F1 season started. So
I started watching F1 Drive to Survive, and I started watching the season that was 2 years ago, and I watched 2 episodes. I'm like, fuck this! I already know how. That was a long time ago. So I watched the first 3 episodes of the most recent season that dropped, which is the last year's F1, which is fantastic. But yeah, F1, it started up again. Bahrain, fucking fantastic. Red Bull 1 and 2. And
Chaille cheers for the fucking Yankees of F1 now.
No, that's not true.
They win every race.
I got into F1. Max Verstappen was hated by everyone, and he was not winning. Hamilton was the guy, and he was, and Mercedes was on top. And the reason I picked Max Verstappen, because everyone's like, that guy, he's like Chaille. Everyone hates him by the way he looks. They don't want to approach him. I'm like, so I'm taking that
Nobody
guy.
hates you by the way you look. What are you?
Yeah, they don't want to come up to me and talk to me because they think I'm going to be angry or something.
Oh my God, that's funny.
So that's why I picked him, and he wasn't winning. Red Bull was not the winning team that it is now.
No,
I mean, now they're fucking dominating. But
you're right. You're absolutely right. So all right, I'll let it slide.
Been with us since
F1,
the
that's it.
All right.
Right on.
It's a fine truck that Ford makes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's it, Andy. All right, you guys. We love you. Thanks for being out there. Join our Patreon if you haven't yet. And if you do, you'll get a special little treat because we're gonna put out a special episode 200 coming up here very soon, sometime soon.
And we'll send you some of Chad's bed bugs.
Yeah, maybe.
They're all gone. We got rid of them.
Oh, that's too bad.
They're La Quinta's bed bugs.
That's right. So the Patreon's not much. It's just $5 a month, and it can help Chad in a time of need.
Absolutely, it does the good things, and we're the last people aside from newspapers to adopt the marketing strategy of here it is for money or here it is for free. And listen, it's a bold strategy. And we hope you take advantage of the both options. Buy it and then listen to it for free. Fuck the man.
Absolutely. Teach him a lesson. So hell yeah.
Take it to the big corporations.
That'll show them. All right. We'll be back here next week and we'll do it again. We'll see you guys later. We love you. Bye-bye.